Here we go. Welcome everybody. This is a Hard Mode Mechagon. Me and the guys did it a couple weeks ago, and I am putting the video out now. I'd say the hardest thing about this fight is 120,000% pushing the buttons. The little skulls right there with the rotating little knobs on them, you can see them on the left side and on the bottom here. They're just little hologram skulls with a patch over them. Those are the hardest thing. Once you get that down, you'll have the rest of the fight. You just got to push the buttons in order that they show up. And they show up right here in the first half of the fight whenever he goes up into the air. So he goes up into the air, you turn your camera, you'll see us looking back like a bunch of idiots. And we're looking for the sequence. It flashes skulls, and then it pops up the symbol in order, and then right when it's done you got like 6 seconds to put it all in. And those little blue electric orbs right there, they will get in your way, they'll knock you off. If you're standing on the edge, when one of those moves around, you see how we stand back and wait for it for a second, because if they spawn on top of you and you gotta push the button, you're gonna get knocked off most likely. Just the way they position them right at the edge and where you have to stand, it almost always knocks you off. And what you're going for right here is to do the last sequence right before you kill him in his first half of the phase. So if you get stuck in his stun while the things are popping up, then you may not get to push the buttons. So they pop up in their own order. You don't really have a choice, and they pop up frequently. So right here we're pushing the buttons in order. And we just saw them pop up. So here we go, we're pushing them. Bing, bang, boom. We have an order. You see how it spawned right on top of my position where I was. We call out our order in the air. We start with the ones that you can't see right here, but when you're looking at the numbers, the far left is number 1, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way we can just call out the numbers. So the druid was set at number 1. I believe I was set at number 2. And then our buddy the star monk was set at 3 and 4. He had speed buffs, he could pop back and forth. And here's a little sequence, you'll get to see it pop up. It flashes of skulls, and then there's 3, and there's 4 chicken, 2's a gear, 1's a spring, and then it flashes 2 skulls, and then you get about 6 seconds or so to push the buttons. And so we hit those pretty well, we move around. We get ready for the very end here, and we clear them out, so that when we get stunned right here, there's nothing popping up. And one good thing here is off healing each other. You know, if you got a bunch of healers in the group and you see the healer kind of struggling, if he gets, you know, put in a position where you can't heal, he's got to dodge something, it's always nice to have some backup heals, you know, and keep yourself alive. Takes a strain off the healer here, especially when he's trying to focus. And in this half of the fight, when he's in his robot, he does those beams. And if you look over on my left, those columns right at the edge, you can hide behind those and not get hit. I never made it that far though. It's so quick, it's hard to get over there. So if you're not ranged, it's hard to get behind the columns. But you can save some people some damage and get it out of the way so people can move around. The magnetic arm, the only really bad thing about this is if you know, buttons are popping up, if your DPS is slow and the magnetic arm goes off and you're trying to dodge, you're trying to look at the buttons. We had a dedicated guy looking at the buttons almost the whole time. You see the star over there? He's basically not doing anything except looking for the buttons at certain times, because the DPS is fine. You can do this with 2 DPS hitting and 1 watching, no problem, and it won't drop off what you're trying to do. And so you're hitting the buttons, you back up, keep the orbs back behind you, and now we're just looking to dodge. And so I call out going wide. You know, it's nice if people can dodge it. And see right there, he's got a good spot. Theron Guard's posted up right at the edge. All his beams are getting shot off to the side, so we don't have to worry about his. And the tank doesn't have to do anything anyway, so it's always nice. And this fight isn't very long, it's just the hard part, pushing the buttons.
Alright, always going out. 1, 4, 2, 3. 1, 4, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3, go.
And you notice how we like to call them out. Calling them out really helps the rest of the party. If somebody's over there pushing the buttons and they can't exactly see you, and you know, you're already really knowing what you're doing, it's just nice to hear other people call it out. And there's the end of the fight. And just like in all the other fights with an engineer inside a machine, he pops out and you gotta kill him. And you get your rank 2 neck ability. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know I did a little different, just went straight through. Wanted to show you guys exactly how it happened, start to finish. But I appreciate you watching. Have a good day. Take care.